Hello people, it's me Nosy, with...
Greetings, 000Firestorm here.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm just stretching my head out a bit. It kind of looks weird on camera when I do it.
It kinda does, yeah.
You know, people, when you can flex your head like this, you might be a little bit crazy. But anyway, we're not here to talk about weird craziness, we're here to talk about the Wreckers. We all know the Wreckers.
Yes, well basically, I just watched the Mighty Grimlock's Stuart. Is it Stuart?
Yes.
Yes, sorry, I forgot the actual name for a minute then. Ow.
Fruitcake. Not right, Grimlock, you're a fruitcake.
Yeah, but yeah, just watched the Mighty Grimlock's response to SMSNo, or SMSNo1, or Smizzy as people call him. Response on the Transformers community YouTube page, Facebook YouTube group thingy, and
the YouTube community.
Yes.
Of Transformers.
On Facebook.
On Facebook. And YouTube.
Yes.
And Twitter.
No, we're not on Twitter.
Are we not?
No.
Oh, didn't know. I thought we were.
Well, some people are, but that community is on Facebook.
Well, fair enough. Facebook and YouTube.
Okay, so that's taken only
1 minute 30.
1 minute 30 to introduce what we're going to do.
Yep. Typical.
But anyways, if the lip sync goes out at any point in the video, please just bear with it, because this camera seems to have a little bit of a problem with lighting and it gets a bit sensitive sometimes.
Don't we all?
So, right, so, yeah, I just watched Mighty Grimlock's opening response to
Shall we get to the point?
On why do you like the Wreckers so much? Like, basically, what do you like about it? Also, why would you buy an Impactor figure over, say, Well or whatnot? Not this, that, and the other. So basically, what do you like about the Wreckers? That's mainly the question in a nutshell. So, I'm going to be very nice. This is my channel, but I'm going to leave it up to him to say what do you like about the Wreckers, my friend.
Ah, cheers.
Seeing as he is kind of here in my shadow once again, freaking the hell out of me with his camera. But I'm very patriotic. Let's see what you want to say about it without fucking about your head.
Right, okay, so the Wreckers. Well, the Wreckers are awesome. Just to put it in that simple word, they are awesome. Obviously, Last Stand of the Wreckers is a fantastic story. I mean, that was probably the first experience I had with the Wreckers when I first read about them, was in Last Stand of the Wreckers. I absolutely love it. I love the way they are a carefree, completely separate faction from the Autobots. They don't follow the rules of the Autobots, they don't listen to the Autobots. Hell, Optimus Prime and Grimlock are probably the only two people they even respect.
Well, maybe not even that.
Probably not even that.
I mean, yeah, so that's what you want to start it off with him. So,
best thing I loved about Dark of the Moon was the Wreckers, especially when they were introduced.
Yeah.
Foul-mouthed, gruff, tough soldiers.
Yeah, you had
who will rip a Decepticon to pieces and eat him.
Awesome. You had Leadfoot, Roadbuster, and what was the blue one? Do you know what the blue one was?
I can't remember.
Topspin.
Yes, that was it.
So you had those three in there, and quite frankly, Roadbuster was a Scottish.
Yeah.
It was Scottish, and he ripped ass. That was the only good thing about Dark of the Moon, was those three Wreckers. It was a shame Topspin didn't speak, but apparently they ran out of budget to get a voice actor to. Oh, apparently that was Michael Bay's excuse anyway. But yeah, they were awesome. But yeah, leading off into what I think about the Wreckers, and I will have to say, just like he would say, nobody can say otherwise, and start off with, they are awesome. The Wreckers are probably the best group of individual characters that are probably even better than Decepticons, because they're more ruthless than a Decepticon in a way. In a scary way, they're good people. They're the Autobots. They're part of the good faction, the good side. But at the same time, they're renegades, aren't they? They're renegades. They're a bunch of essentially mercenaries, really, of the Autobots, and they go into situations that many Autobots will not tread. They are the demolition crew. They are the ones that go in, finish it off, and come back out again.
They're very much special forces. To put it simply, they are special forces.
Yeah, essentially they are the Black Ops, SAS of the Autobots, really. That is what the Wreckers are. I've not read much of... Well, I have actually read The Wreckers by Nick Roche and James Roberts. I have read it, but it's been ages since I read it, so I can't recall everything that went on. I'm going to have to read it all again. I have got it all. But it was a fantastic comic, even though I can't really recall everything, but it was great. It was really well drawn and everything. But, the Wreckers are just awesome. That's all you can say without going into too much. They are just that, like Matty Grimlock Stewart said. He said in his video that they, they're each individual character. They've all got their own personality. Some of them are a little bit more laid back. Some of them are quite sarcastic. Others are quite ego-y. They've got a bit of an ego. Then you've got like characters like Whale, who is he? Is he an informant? Is he a backstabber? Which essentially he is. If people have actually read a lot of the Robots in Disguise and a lot of the current comics that have been coming out with Whale in them, they've all got their own individual character, like personality, and that's what makes them interesting. Is that they have more of a character development to them than a Decepticon does. Because a Decepticon, at the end of the day, they're all about destruction. That's cool.
But the great thing is about the Wreckers, just saying that, they could be Decepticons if they wanted to be.
Exactly.
If they were Decepticons,
they'll be the perfect Decepticon.
They'd be the guy at the shop and go, "Hi Megatron, bang, we're in charge now."
Yes.
And unlike Starscream, they wouldn't mess it up. They would kill him.
Like Starscream is just like,
He's a wannabe.
He's a wannabe.
No one cares.
He's a wannabe. Yeah.
It can go, Starscream will take over, or whatever. Starscream, no one cares. You've been saying this for 1,000 years. We all know you're going to get killed by Megatron.
Possibly millions.
But we all know no one cares. If the Wreckers said it, you'd know within an hour Megatron will be dead.
Well, that's a problem.
And so would Starscream.
The funny thing is, if this did happen in the fiction, Megatron would try to somehow become an allegiance with them so he could play them, but you cannot play the Wreckers.
Yeah, you can't play the Wreckers.
You cannot play the Wreckers. They're too smart for that. They're too
battle hardened.
The battle hardened.
Strong.
Well, I'm not saying. Well, Megatron is battle hardened. He's spent millennia
in the pits of Gaon.
Well, yeah.
Slaughtering people and learning how to fight.
Well, essentially, he was meant to be
gladiator.
Yeah, he was a gladiator.
Like Spartacus.
Yeah. But
he did not say, "I am Spartacus."
No, he said, "I am Megatron."
Yeah.
But anyway, we're getting off the point again.
Yes, we're talking about Spartacus.
Samsy, that's why.
Megatron and the Wreckers. But I would definitely like to see a huge big fight with the Wreckers and Megatron. If we've already haven't seen that, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really remember. But to be honest, the Wreckers have only really been in the comics, and you can get away with it a bit more in a comic book because,
true.
Say if you brought the Wreckers into, say, a cartoon series, like an actual proper animated series, there's a big chance
it would be a bit too dark for kiddies.
No, well, it would be. But say, I don't know. Saying that, if you went down the direction of Prime was possibly quite the darkest animated TV series for Transformers.
Oh yeah, fact, but the episode you have Cliffjumper being killed.
Well, that was the pilot opening for the first 5
part.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. It was probably one of the most darkest and brutal series, especially when you see Cliffjumper dying in the first
movie. Then you have zombie Cliffjumper.
Yeah. Well, the whole Dark Energon thing, yeah. But if you brought it into maybe the Prime universe, I mean, you do have a Wrecker in Prime anyway. It's Wheeljack, and I don't care what people say. Prime Wheeljack is my favourite character of Prime.
Also had
He's awesome.
He was also he was a former Wrecker.
A former Wrecker, which was Bulkhead. But I can understand Bulkhead because he's got a massive big mace thing for a weapon. That's Wreckery.
He would just been a Wrecker that just runs in there with his big mace thing and hits people on the head.
Yeah, but what I love the Prime Wheeljack is that he is essentially a samurai wielding. Well, he's a dual sword wielding Autobot, and just seeing him in your mind's eye, imaginary eye, you see him slaughtering hundreds, possibly I don't know how many of millennia that he's been an Autobot for, been functioning for. But, for as long as he's been about as a wrecker, how many Decepticons has he destroyed? And also what I like about that storyline, he's witnessed a lot of his comrades, a lot of his fellow wreckers die in battle. And apparently there is a few still scattered about, but you only see Bulkhead and Wheeljack, that is the apparent survivors. But going away from that, but yeah, they are awesome. Again, going to the next part of the question is about Impactor. Now, I know about Impactor thank you to the Wreckers comic book by James Roberts and Nick Roach. So that comic book had Impactor. It was his return from like back in the 80s. I don't know, back in the heyday of the comic books, and he makes his return in the Wreckers, Last Stand of the Wreckers. And his character's pretty interesting. I would definitely buy a toy for him, because I know people say that apparently he's just a retool of an inferior figure, which is Onslaught. Now, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I've got Onslaught. I've got this one, which is very recent to me, and this is Onslaught. I don't know if people are meaning this toy, which is the inferior figure, but if you're saying this guy's inferior, I think you need your eyes testing, really, because Onslaught, and he's an armoured SWAT van. Fucking works. And I don't know if that's the mould he's been made, because I've not actually seen pictures of it properly, so let's have a look. But yeah, I would definitely buy an Impactor. But they're saying over Well. Now, I do want Well, at the same time I don't. I like his character in the comic books, but I think the toy looks a bit weird. He looks weird. I know he's alt mode, he's robot mode. He's basically an anorexic Shockwave. That's what he looks like. He looks like an anorexic
Shockwave.
Going off
topic, yeah.
But that's Well in the comic book.
I know. But are we talking about the figures, the comics, or what?
We're talking about Well, the character is a Wrecker character.
Yes, I know.
So he is kind of in this conversation.
True.
And that is one of the. If you were listening to Buddy Stewart's video, he talked about this.
Yes. But
Right
we
then.
need to stay on topic as well.
I am doing.
Good.
I mean, on where?
Yeah, but you're rambling.
I know,
Try
I
not
always
to
do.
ramble.
I don't care. People don't like my videos when they go too long, but I don't care.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's apparently what Tony told me when we were coming home from auto assembly last year. Nobody said it to my face. But anyway, but yeah, Well is interesting character, but I don't know, the toy is like that to me. Fuck off.
What am I doing?
You do know I can see the camera. But anyway, but that's that. But yeah, so let's rate it. What would you like to say? Ending words on Wreckers? Anything?
Bring on a live action film just about the Wreckers.
Well, that'd be interesting. I'll bring more Wreckers into live action films when they
Or
get
maybe an
released.
entire series based on the Wreckers.
That'd be cool.
And it's nothing more than just let's
How about-
crush the Medicons.
How about Last Stand of the Wreckers animated?
That would be very good. It would be very interesting to see.
But
that,
I don't know if it might be a bit too graphic, but
Put it on
I
after
think
9 o'clock.
I think it could work. You don't know.
Not everything should be aimed at children.
But people will argue with you. It is a child's toy line.
Well, we all know there is something underneath this bed of John's that isn't for children.
Okay. Alright, so on that bombshell, thank you very much for watching. And this has rambled on a bit, but it's thanks to this twat. Shut up. But anyway, thank you very much.
Do a weird head thing.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye.
For fuck's sake.